Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Matthew Marx. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Good morning, Kent.
All right. Awesome, man. So, hey, today we're going to talk about one of the areas that you cover and kick butt in, which is the Panama Beaches market. So, thank you for joining me so we can speak some knowledge to folks and answer questions.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. So we'll just wait for questions. Just kidding. So yeah, guys, a bit of an intro on Matt. I've known him for years. He is salesman of the year for the last 2 years running. Everybody's having a good year this year. So you got a lot of little competition this year, Matt.
That's fine. A little healthy competition hasn't hurt anyone.
No, yeah, we all work together as a team anyway. So Matt's originally from the States. You moved to Panama when?
2009.
Get that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought it was
man.
just going to be 2 years of living abroad, get that off the bucket list. And I never left.
Yes, amen. Well, it's a good place to be. Matt's family man and a very professional human being and sales guy. So okay, let's talk Panama beaches, shall we? So Matt, you cover the area from, let's call it Playa Bonita all the way out to basically like Buenaventura, right?
Yeah, anything within about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes of the city.
Okay, cool. So for folks who have not been to the Panama beaches areas yet, maybe they're considering it. Um, walk us through the geography, if you will. So you leave Panama City. What's kind of the first beach area you get to? How long does it take? What's it like?
Well, yeah, I mean, as soon as you leave the city, you cross the canal, you're going to be towards like Veracruz. That's where Playa Bonita is located. And so that beach is basically along the entranceway of the canal. So you're going to see a lot of the large freighters passing through, either leaving the canal or getting into the canal. As far as the beach goes, it's more like broken shells. It's not like that powder sand that we're used to seeing further out in the Pacific. If you were to go a little further out, let's say, you head out to like Punta Chame and then even to Coronado and beyond, that's where you start getting like that that black sand, which is mixed with the white sand. So it's my like salt and pepper. Um, Very nice, powdery. Black sand is very fine. It's great for exfoliating your skin. I see a lot of people rubbing the sand on their arms and legs. Um, and that water is actually really calm, very swimmable. We do have some large tides here, tide differences in Panama. So great. If you catch it at low tide, you might see a few rocks because it goes out pretty far. But high tide, very swimmable. There are a few surf spots on the beach, around like the Gorgona area and Punta Barco, which is right on the other side of Coronado. And then if you are in Punta Chame, that's world-class kite surfing. You're going to see kite surfers just dotting the coastline all weekend long.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're just joining us, we got Matt Marks, the man, handles all of our beaches region. So, Matt was just describing sort of the way out to the beaches. So, Panama City, it's a straight shot, super easy to navigate. We have one main highway going east to west. You get in your car, you hang a right. So, you're heading west. You drive for 8 hours, you get to Costa Rica. You drive for another 8 days, you get to the United States, right? Same road. So Matt was mentioning the first beaches area, which is Playa Bonita, Veracruz area. He mentioned a bit about the proximity to the city. I mean, gee whiz, you pop into the city, no traffic, what, 15, 20 minutes tops?
Yeah, I'd say about 20 minutes. Even with a little bit of traffic, you're in there in 20, 25 minutes. It's literally just crossing the Bridge of the Americas, and you're in Veracruz.
Yeah, so proximity is the big one with Playa Bonita. Now, Playa Bonita's got some beautiful inventory, mostly burn built. What's something out on Playa Bonita, kind of entry level, Matt? What are you looking at for they have one bedroom still, don't they?
They do. We actually have a one bedroom on our website right now, and it's on the jungle side of the building, so you have a partial view of the ocean along the coastline. And you're going to be in there in the 200s, around like 220, 230. So nothing exorbitant on the price. Now, if you are on the ocean side, you're going to see about a $50,000 to $75,000 difference.
Look at
Uh,
that.
being face on with the ocean as opposed to looking at partial ocean and then the jungle beyond.
So that's about a 20% premium for ocean view
Yeah,
for that particular project. Now, is there any Airbnb potential, any action out that way?
absolutely, absolutely, especially in that area because of what you said, the proximity to the city, and it's
Mm,
pretty appealing to people that are coming just to check out Panama but want to be on the beach. A comment I hear very often, from people that are not accustomed to being in Panama, is they want to be on the beach in the city. The city just doesn't have any beachfront real estate. We've got oceanfront real estate, but nothing
not yet.
directly on the beach. So the next logical response is check out Veracruz. You're only 20-25 minutes away from the city, and you are on the beach.
Yeah, I mean, Veracruz, Playa Bonita, like you said, kind of, I love it. Well put. It's not, it's shells, it's a broken shell. So
Mhm.
it's a little bit more coarse. The, the water, the tide variance is a little tricky out there just because it's right by the canal. So you get, I don't know, I feel like that affects the tide somehow. Like it's massive, the tidal
Right.
variance. And in Veracruz, y'all, is still a little rough around the edges. I mean, it is the spot to go on a Sunday afternoon, Panama City. You want to be at the beach in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 to get to Veracruz restaurants. Authentic as it gets. You get out there, maybe the tide is out, so it's a giant mud flat. Not exactly scenic. Maybe the tide's in. The water's okay in Veracruz.
Mhm.
But the vibe is very Panamanian. I mean, it's like inexpensive seafood, live music, local families, visitors. It's a cool vibe, and that's 20 minutes from the city. So let's make our way out. It's kind of a jump, Matt, right? From Veracruz all the way out to Gorgona. I mean, you're going to be driving on the Inter-American for how long?
Yeah, so from Panama City out to Gorgona, you jump on the Inter-American Highway, and you'll be there in about an hour.
Okay, cool. So now you're in Gorgona. One of the questions we had, Matt, is what do you think is the best value going for people that are looking to just kind of get in under the radar, sort of a sleepy town that's maybe on the come up, or maybe just your money goes further. What area are you kind of leading folks towards right now?
I mean, we're seeing a lot of urban sprawl from Coronado that's expanding out to Gorgona. Gorgona is really hot right now,
Good.
mostly for people that are looking to get in, around 150 to $200,000. Gorgona is going to be your spot, and specifically Royal Palm. It's a project that you and I have spoken about ad nauseum on here, because it's a winner. You can
Yeah.
get in at about 159,000 is the best priced unit right now. But if you wanted a furnished resale, someone that's already installed all the air conditioners, you got all the furniture, just plug and play, completely turnkey, you can get in for about 180 or $185,000.
Okay. Yeah, no, and that's a good developer too. I mean, that's, we've known that developer for years. They do good product. The building is how old now?
It was completed in 2018, so 4 years now.
4 years. So it's already gone through its growing pains. It's
Yes.
shifting, and it's, pool tiles maybe flicking up, or, just the things that we inevitably experience in Panama and I guess everywhere else in the world. I don't know, probably more in Panama, but 4-year-old building is nice, less surprises, you
Yeah, and
know?
actually interesting you mentioned the pool tiles. I was there last week, and they were doing all of that maintenance. So, the developer is doing a wonderful job taking care of the building, making sure it stays in a good presentation. Everything in the common areas is well maintained and taken care of, and they are actively doing that work.
Are they still administering the building, or is it
Byrne is still administering the building. Yes.
okay? Got it. Because they probably have enough unsold inventory where, hey, we like that. That's called skin in the game. When the building builder stays on as the administrator, they obviously they have an incentive to keep it looking nice so they can get rid of their other units. So awesome. Okay. So that's Gorgona. As far as Gorgona, Matt, and good insight in terms of price point and kind of what's out there. Are you seeing some new restaurants and some new infrastructure kind of filling in around that area to accommodate what you said as the kind of the sprawl from Coronado?
Yeah, not specifically on the beach.
Sure.
There, but as you get closer to the Inter-American Highway, some of those shopping centers that were centrally located in Coronado that were only focused on the area starting to sprawl out to surrounding areas. So
Cool.
you are seeing active growth in that specific area of Gorgona.
Yeah, good, good. I had I don't know if you well, you were out showing properties. I had Lauren and Judy on. We did our little Facebook Live yesterday. If you guys are watching, you can see that on our same Facebook and YouTube channel. And by the way, we are taking questions. If anybody wants to fire them out there, I'm just sort of addressing some of the questions that came in via email. But yeah, so your clients obviously they speak the world of you because they all do. And if they don't, we just delete the comments. No, you can't actually delete the comments. Google doesn't allow that. So, proof is in the pudding. No, Matt's a pro. They had some great things to say about Punta Barco. I mean, that's why we didn't, I could have spent an hour with them. Why do you think they chose, or why do people choose a place like Punta Barco versus a more established, say, Coronado or Buenaventura? What factors influence that?
Well, let's speak about them directly. It was about the privacy that they were afforded in Punta Barco and the proximity to Coronado. Coronado is really right next door. So you have Coronado in the middle, and then on the left side, or the east side, you have Gorgona, and then on the west side, you have Punta Barco. They love the privacy of the area. It's very calm, beautiful beaches, very wide, calm, really nice sand, and just proximity really to Coronado was just paramount for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're right on the fringes. You're not in the middle of the action, the weekend warriors, but you can pop over to one of 50 restaurants, tons of shops. Guys, to paint the picture of Coronado, I'm from the States, as is Matt. I spent a good amount of time on the East Coast. And Irene, we're going to answer your question immediately. But just finishing the thought and trying to paint the picture. Next time we'll do a Facebook Live from there. Matt and I will be interviewing each other out on the streets of Coronado. So most of the commercial infrastructure is developed along the highway and on the road into Coronado versus along the water. If there's any billionaire real estate developers out there, we have an awesome piece in Palmar that would be perfect to create finally sort of a oceanfront boardwalk that would just kill it. I promise you. Talk to Matt Marx. He's got the listing. But we don't have that vibe anywhere other than, actually, the closest thing I would say is kind of Palmar, because it's close enough to the beach. It's like a little, perpendicular to the beach, just right there. Are you selling much real estate in Palmar? Is there much to sell?
No, Palmar is kind of like a little bit of a dead zone. You'll pass through there,
I love
and the next major project would be Vista Mar, which has just been on fire lately.
Yeah.
Those buildings that are closest to the highway, the Las Olas buildings, but overlooking the golf course, and then just this beautiful panoramic view of the Pacific Ocean. And people are really gravitating to that project right now. And they're doing some really nice things out there. The Boga Bar at the end of the pier in the marina is just really stepped up their game lately. Beautiful views, tough to beat, the view of having a nice lunch or a dinner and then looking at the marina with these beautiful yachts.
Yeah.
Then on the mainland,
Driving
before
your
you go out to
golf
the
cart
pier,
back home. Sorry, go
right?
ahead.
Exactly right. But even on the mainland, there's actually a new Thai restaurant that's going in. So there's going to be more options of Vista Mar. It's really growing.
Love. Yeah. Hey, so Irene, getting to your question, and thank you. Monthly maintenance in Royal Palm, Maddie. So like for $160,000, what is that? One bedroom square footage on that?
That's 70 square meters, and so a little. I guess it's almost 800 square feet. If you do the quick conversion, it's one bedroom, one bath. Most people have actually opted to convert the den into a second bedroom, and your monthly maintenance is only $105.
Look at that. Yeah, tax exoneration.
You still have tax exoneration for about another 7 years.
There you go. So holding costs are a whopping 100 and change per month for that property. Ta-da. Okay, so and I would say that's fairly typical, like $1.50. Well, that's actually on the more inexpensive side, I think, because
Right.
there's quite a few units in the building itself. More average, would you say, Matt? What about $2 a meter ish?
That's exactly right. I see about $2 per meter is typically the average. If you go to a luxury community, something like Buenaventura, be prepared to pay $2.50 per meter, or even more, depending on the section of the property.
So, which is about, let's call it 20 cents a square foot ish,
Mhm.
for like top end. But Buenaventura is the bee's knees. I mean, you've got, like, uh, I can't even start on that one. I want to get to everybody's questions, though. You guys are awesome. So Susana, te voy a contestar en español. No, just kidding. So you speak fluent Spanish. Awesome. High five. You are not restricted to an expat location. Single and senior. Hey, ready to mingle. I mean, single and senior. The thing is, even if you were married, and not senior, or senior, and what is age is just a number. I mean, it's kind of like we don't even really have expat enclaves, do we, Matt? I mean, I feel like if we have expats, they're from all over the world. Maybe they happen to speak also some English, but like you got Germans, you got Aussies. Are they speaking? I mean, they're kind of like barely English. No. How would you address that question? It's a great question. Thank you for putting it out there.
Well, it really depends on what Susanna is looking for. If you want a community where people live there, full time, you still have to focus on Coronado. You have to focus on Gorgona. Um, but if you want something where many Panamanian families gravitate, you're still going to look at something like Bihao. Bihao is very appealing because they don't allow short-term rentals, so you're not
Mm,
going to have all the Airbnb weekend warriors coming in. Though you do have the weekend crowd, because most of the
swell.
Panamanians that own out there, they live in the city during the week, and then Friday you'll see that mass exodus from the city, and everyone's going out to their beach property.
Yeah, so you do have more quote unquote local communities, if you will, Susanna. Um it's exactly what Matt said. It's really very specific to what you're into, whether that's golf, whether that's proximity to the water, whether that's walking to the grocery store, whether that's being as close to the city as you can be because you like to get back, you know, um, to Casco Viejo to go out dancing and have fun like that. So yeah, but the great news is that Panama is as far from homogenous as possible in terms of like, oh my God, that community is so American or anything, we don't have that, which is kind of cool. Everybody gets along. I mean, watch that video that we did yesterday with Lauren and Judy. They had some great insight into their experiences as expats. They're learning Spanish, but have very much engaged the community. And I'm gonna move on to the next question, Matt. Unless you wanted to add something there.
Well, one more comment is just that one thing I always recommend if you're coming here for the first time to look for your beach property, or make a move to Panama in general, is come here and check out the different communities, because they all have a different vibe, a different energy. You know, you may love Bihao, and you're going to find it completely different than what you would experience in Coronado. And I always recommend staying in Coronado. It has the most full time residents, and it's really the bullseye on your dartboard. From there, you're only 30 minutes from all the other beach communities in each direction.
There you go. The bullseye on the dartboard. I love it. Good visual. Okay, so Paul asking about Playa Caracol. Man, the surf's up. I can tell you that. Breaking my heart. Got a swelling.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, Playa Caracol, we are starting to see some more activity out there. The number one issue with that, it's kind of like Casco, it's the path of progress. So, the Playa Caracol community is really the only beach community out there in Punta Chame. So they're still, creating a lot of the infrastructure. So you do have to have a little bit of a vision. Now, if you do have that vision, you're going to get in a really good price point, and then, hopefully in a couple of years they will have all of that infrastructure worked out.
Yeah, I mean, Playa Caracol, man, it's cool because it's not all the way down Chame. It's
Right.
like 2/3 of the way, which is nice because Chame is long. But Matt's right. I mean, it's early adopter. You know, it's like the terraplane section of Casco Viejo. Which is the very entrance there. It's kind of like it's still developing, but when it hits, it's going to hit hard. At least that's what, the real estate guys would like you to think. Challenges with Chame water is one of them, fresh water, although they do have some new water treatment online and, sort of welling, drilling and availability of groundwater. So it's there. That was our biggest bottleneck for the longest time, but that's been solved now. I think another bottleneck that is going to be game changer is the highway going out to the beaches area, because man, I don't own beach property. Shoot, quick story. We had access for years via a very kind client of ours to $1 million beach house that we were administering. And the exchange was, hey, we'll do it at a reduced rate if we can use it whenever we want. Man, I probably use that like once a month just because I, being a working dude, couldn't get out of the city until 6 o'clock. So my point, guys, and sorry for the aside, love the questions, I'm going to get to them in a second, is beach traffic is killer from about 3, right?
Yep.
3 p.m. till like 6:37 leaving the city.
That's
Normal
right. If you
days,
don't,
what's that?
on Friday
Woo!
afternoon, if you don't leave the city by 3 or 3:30, just wait until 8 o'clock.
There you go. That's going to change. When's the new road going to be done? I mean, still a couple of years away, right?
Yeah, we're still a while away from it. I see them working out there every day on the expansion just beyond the canal,
Yeah,
but it is still a few years away.
it is, but it's also a few years in.
Mhm.
I mean, they took out a huge swath of trees, about broke my heart. But hey, if I get to the beach a little quicker, trade-offs. Anyway, George, you were talking about units. They're 180K. Are they close to the water or are they beachfront? That's, I think, a Royal Palm question, Matt.
That's Royal Palm, and it's right on the water.
Look
As
at
soon
that.
as you step off the stairs in the pool area on the ground floor, your toes in the sand.
Yeah, no, they took their 18-meter build back line down to the inches or centimeters. So they did real well. Hey, Nancy. All right, your question. Any other deep water marinas besides Vista Mar? A ver, Buenaventura. I don't know how deep that water is.
Yeah, Buenaventura during low tide, you cannot leave the marina.
Oof.
It's Vista Mar. That's your only option in this portion of the country.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, with that 30-foot tidal variance, it gets a little gnarly. Okay, so but Nancy, let us know when you pull the yacht in, and we'll come bring you some champagne. All right, Darren, sir, is it important to buy into a secured area? Any issues with leaving the property vacant for 6 months or more per year? I would say, yeah, you don't want to. If it's a house, right? I mean, if it's a condo, you're good. Lock it, leave it. Make sure you've got somebody. We offer the service in the city, not yet at the beach, but we'll be there one day. Fluff and flush, right? We come in once a week and we fluff all the linens, we flush all the toilets, we run the AC for a hot second. We got a checklist. It gets very humid in Panama, as you know, which we love. But yeah, Matt, can you speak to home break-ins, etc., in terms of vacant properties?
Well, specifically, if you do leave it vacant, if you're buying a single family home, I always recommend, you have to buy in a gated community, and more secure than Coronado. While Coronado is technically a gated community, it still has a lot of public access on the roads. But if you're looking at something like Vista Mar, Buenaventura, you would be okay. For someone like Darren, who's indicating he'll be here for half the year, I always try to recommend condos, because with a condo you could lock it and leave it. You're not going to have any concern about a break-in.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, every now and then you get a little wave of break-ins, right? And it's, then they catch the kids and then it's gone. What we haven't had in a long time is things like home invasions where there's somebody there and they get like tied up. Creepy stuff. It's definitely happened in excuse me, in Panama. I mean, it happens everywhere around the world, unfortunately, except maybe like Singapore or something. But yeah, I mean, I would say it's not quote unquote a concern. But Darren, to your question, and Matt, your answer is yeah, you don't want to have a little house in the middle of a field with no security just left for 6 months. It's just you're just kind of calling out, and people will caretakers are cheap, house sitters, right? There's resources out there to accommodate for something like that. And then also you just get within a gated community and you can have, you should be pretty cool. Let's see here. Other questions that we got via email prior to, what about hottest areas? I mean, you mentioned Gorgona in terms of best value. You also alluded to Vista Mar in terms of kind of, on fire right now. Any other areas that you're seeing people gravitate towards?
Vista Mar is very hot right now, and I'm seeing a lot of activity in Buenaventura.
Oh, good.
Buenaventura would be considered, probably the best beach community, within an hour and a half of the city. And you're seeing a lot of action out there. They do have a premium because it is a luxury community, and it's more of a lifestyle that they're selling you more than real estate.
Yeah.
Wonderful amenities, 18-hole, Nicholas design golf course with 2 different beach clubs, 3 different beach areas, spa, equestrian
Hotel.
club, even a zoo. I mean, Buenaventura has it all.
They have a zoo now?
They
I need to
do.
get out there. Love. Yeah, no, I mean, and it is just manicured, you guys, to the nines. I mean, they did it right because when they first set it up, they planted trees instead of clearing it and dealing with it later. And then you got little baby trees for years. On the contrary, beautiful, lush, tropical. And they left a lot of trees too. So you got shade, which is a, I don't want to say precious resource, but a valued resource in Panama because it gets a little warm. You got a great beach, like Matt said, infrastructure, awesome golf, tennis, super close to like going up to the mountains to hike, going, in and around the area for grocery shopping and restaurants. It's just Buenaventura is special. Okay, Susanna, thank you. Safety, gated community for a senior. I mean, I my heart says no. I mean, I honestly don't think that you have to be concerned about that per se. But maybe it's always, I mean, if I was your grandson, I would be like, yeah, you should just do it. Get in a gated community. Matt, what do you think?
Well, if you're looking into a condo, they all have 24-hour security. It's not a true gated community like we're used to
100%. Condo, no
experiencing.
brainer.
Yeah, the condo is I should say technically, but it's basically its own gated community. If you are looking at a single family home, yeah, gated community is definitely the way you're going to want to go.
Good man. Yeah. Listen to Matt. Okay, cool. And appreciate the dialogue, guys. That way I'm just not thinking of stuff that I assume people are wanting to know about. Zuma, what are the beaches like in Playa Blanca? It looks like you have some beautiful condos listed there. Hey, yeah, we do, man. And Matt, I'm going to let you take this question, but can I say Playa Blanca has the coolest lagoon? It is at one point was the second biggest pool in Latin America. I don't know if it's now the third or maybe the first because they closed down the biggest, but man, that lagoon is the bee's knees. I mean, they got kayaking and I like open water swimming. You can go back and forth in it. It is awesome. And the beaches, Matt, go ahead. You're our expert. I love
Yeah,
everything.
I love Playa Blanca for the beaches. I find it to be the most swimmable along this stretch of Pacific coast that we're discussing today. Water is always warm, very calm. Beaches there are wonderful. Now, I grew up in South Florida. I was a little spoiled with the golden beaches that we had there. You're not going to find that here in the Pacific coast. It's what we were talking about earlier. It's a mixture of black and white sand, and so sometimes that's a turnoff. But very, very wonderful waters and very calm area.
Yeah, no. And you got like an all-inclusive right there. If you got a bunch of family in town, it's creating its own infrastructure. I would say there's some good values in Playa Blanca as well, right? Like
Absolutely,
price per
absolutely.
square meter.
I would say I would look more towards the just the overall price point. If you're going to be right on the water, you can find a condo there for under 300,000.
Look at that.
And then if you're going to be in the Founders Towers, which are a little more inland, they have a view of the ocean and of the lagoon you were talking about. You can get in there for under 200,000.
I love Founders, man. I mean, they're not big, it's what, 100 and some change meters, so about 1,100 square feet-ish,
Yeah,
right?
exactly right.
So, and they're a bit older. They're like 10 years old, so a little, rough around the edges. But man, to have like a beach spot out there, what's actually really popular right now? And Matt, we don't do as many rentals, but you probably see this. Is the gold mines out in Panama, man. Like Buenaventura is full of like Aussies and gold mine employees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the copper mine as well. We're seeing a lot of activity, and actually, a lot of those folks are opting to make a purchase specifically in Buenaventura. It puts them, within a pretty good proximity to the mine, so their families will live in Buenaventura full time, and then during their week off, it's just a quick couple hours to get back home.
So there's community, there's guys out walking their dog that you see every day. You're like, hey, where are you from? People are awesome in Panama. Let me tell you, everybody's friendly and yeah, never rains. Just kidding. All right. So let's see. Entry point for Buenaventura, Mati.
Yeah, so price per square meter, you're looking at above $2,700 per square meter. The most aggressively priced, condo that I've seen, it would be like a loft style, 1 bedroom, and that's at $315,000.
Yeah, and that's a 1 bedroom. So you're paying for Buenaventura. Entry level like 2 bedroom, Matt.
You're gonna have to knock it up a bit, and you're closer to $400,000 to $450,000 in that range.
Yeah, there you go. But man, it is so nice out there. I'm telling you, it's about an hour and a half drive ish, right? Hour 40, depends on how fast you drive.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Buenaventura is once you're there, you don't really have to leave the community. They have the Deli Gourmet, ice cream shop, candy shop, a couple restaurants in the hotel, and actually, by their Punta Arena area, the beach club is really beautiful. The marina, they've done a real knock-up job on that. I just don't have enough good things to say about Buenaventura.
Yeah, and you're like 10 minutes tops from the Inter-American, which has all the grocery stores, like appliance and what do you call say Ryan Co, like those kind of places, like whatever, hardware shops, right? You got everything out there. David, okay, so the key is leaving at 2:59. So let's answer your question at 2:59 and let's answer your question at 3:01. Matt,
Yeah,
2:59 Buenaventura?
59, you're looking at about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. If you leave at 3:01, knock that up to, about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I always thought it'd be cool to, I don't know if economically feasible, to get ferry service from Punta Pacifica to Buenaventura on a Friday afternoon. It would take you about the same time in a fast boat. Um, but anyway, yeah. No, great question. Thank you. Kind of put geography in context for you. It's really Fridays, the gnarly day, although weekdays in general, we do certainly have a rush from the interior, the afueras, the suburbs of Panama City, Chorrera area coming in, and then Panama City coming out towards the beaches. So, take our answer on a Friday to really almost every day, I would say. Friday being the worst because you're getting the weekenders. And on a holiday weekend, just leave real early and
Yeah.
come back like a day early because that entrance is real bad, but it's not going to be soon, which is exciting. And it's not a planned on paper unless we have a catastrophe or a budget shortfall. That project is happening as we speak. Awesome. I mean, Matt, you got to go out and sell some properties. So I'm happy to hang on. If anybody has any other questions, I know enough to be dangerous about the beaches area as well, but figure we get the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew Marx on the video call as well. So Matt, man, thank you for making the time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I feel like when I sign off, it's like a talk show or something. All right, guys. Well, we love answering questions after the fact as well. If you want to work with us, with somebody like Matthew, you know, our whole team is terrific. So you've got nothing to worry about. We can guide you through the process. We've been doing this since 2007. So thank you everybody for watching. Matt, thanks again. Good luck out there today, and see everybody soon.